Whatever game you're playing, it won't work. You can't defeat me.
No, I know. He got it.
Level 857 Video Game Podcast.
PlayStation and Xbox are both reportedly looking into new studio acquisitions. So, obviously, all these studios are looking for money if they're not super successful. Or, like, listen, Sony and Xbox have the money to buy pretty much all the studios unless they're, like, astronomically successful.
They got that money, man.
Like, they're not buying Activision. They're not buying, like,
They got that money, man.
Rockstar. They're not buying any of those
No,
guys.
they got that money.
They got that money.
But...
They got the money.
But listen, this is just speculation. But what companies do you wish that one of these companies or both of these companies would buy? Because
Konami.
exclusives, yeah, obviously.
Sega.
Sega, Konami,
want
Sega,
Xbox,
and Konami
Capcom,
are obviously the top of the
Sega.
list just
Sega.
because of the franchise that they have.
Sega.
So if these companies, like, listen, PlayStation doesn't need any new studios. They're fine. They have all the exclusives right now anyway. So
they need more.
Xbox
They need more.
needs
Let
to
me
throw.
stop.
Listen, Xbox will throw more money than Sony. They will throw more money than Sony. So if it's about money, Xbox will get these things. But they need at least seven exclusives for this generation. They
Dude,
need it.
They're like a bad
They bought the Bethesda.
record label. They
Well,
buy
Xbox,
studios
it
and then
was
they
like
shelf
2 or 3 years ago. They bought all kinds of like third-party developers. Where's the games that they've been working on?
They should
I
show
heard
up.
shit about them.
No, they'll show
That's
up.
true.
with the
They
new-
they did do a lot of
will.
acquisition.
They'll show
No,
up with the
all
new-
on
listen,
Game
they will
Pass.
come out with it, but it seems like they,
Right.
listen. All right, when Scalebound got fucking canceled, that was like a big game. All right, they every E3 we see footage of it, and it was like, oh wow, this looks amazing.
It looked really awesome.
It looked amazing, and
That
then
was
they
the
were
end
like,
of their
I won't talk
and then
about
they were
that
like,
anymore.
nope,
Well, that was the end of their.
cut the cord. That's it.
That was the end of their exclusives, basically.
That was
Besides their main titles.
it. Exactly. So when they did that, that's like,
But they gave up after that, though.
well, you can't do that to the fans. Like,
This is
You
why
just-
this generation is important.
See, this is the problem is, especially when you mention Konami and Sega, it's like they have so many awesome titles.
Untouched.
And it's like, I love
Dead.
Sega. I love Sega to death. I'm the hugest Sega fan, and I wish they would come out with a new console, and that's not going to happen. But it's like, if they're letting half their IPs just sit there and die, can someone buy them and make these games? Because they're not doing it. They're not doing it. Freaking indie developers have to come by and get
Sonic
Streets of
Mania.
Rage, get Sonic Mania, Streets of Rage 4. They don't even care about their IPs anymore.
It's good for business. Whatever works for them.
is it?
Yes, because Sega isn't a company anymore. They don't make
a
games
developer.
anymore.
They're a
They
developer.
just
like-
give it. Hey, you want
Listen,
this? Here,
if
take
you're
it.
They're,
Do it.
they're mostly like a publisher, not even a developer.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless your Sonic
Pretty
team,
much.
unless your Sonic team making Sonic,
Yeah.
that's the last thing that Sega does.
Yeah,
But the last Sonic game was Sonic Forces, and that was god awful.
Remember
That was
when
like
every
that was like
Was
a
it that
regret.
bad?
remember on Sega Master System when every game was made by Sega?
yeah.
Every game.
Yep.
They didn't even have third parties.
But you know what's crazy though? The indie developers have more of the sense of that Sega magic than actual Sega
they grew
does.
up
because
on
they
it.
have the
yeah,
passion.
yeah, they
They
grew up
have
on
that
it,
passion.
and they have the passion for what's
Yeah.
supposed to be shown. Sega's just at this point. Sega's just like, you know what? You want it? All right, you could take it because I really don't want the stress of actually coming out and making these fans happy.
I hate
Well,
It's
going
not
back.
even Sega. Sammy Sega.
Well, listen.
Well,
Talking about like creators and who makes what, like what's important, the name of the company or the people behind the name.
Yeah.
And it's been years and years, 30 years. These people are moved on to their own studios. They moved on to,
Yep.
they retired. These are new people.
Yuji Naka.
Do you know
Yeah.
what the-
guy
those
who,
guys are
made
gone.
Sonic,
do you guys
he's
know what
gone.
the most recent Sega game released is? Do you guys know?
The recent
Humankind.
Jeez.
No, I don't know.
Thank you.
Don't even start with that.
The
Valkyria
most
Chronicles-
recent release of Sega release.
Sega
What is it?
Valkyria Chronicles 4.
No, man, that's
Yeah.
mad long ago.
Incorrect.
Really? Okay.
Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Yep. Puyo
Yeah.
Puyo Tetris
Well-
2,
Two.
which was released.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's
It
Damn.
was released 3 weeks ago.
That has nothing to do with Sega.
Well, they
They
published
didn't make
it,
either one of those.
but they published it.
No, I know.
They publish.
That's
yeah,
what they do.
They're more of a
But
publisher
you know what?
than they are freaking.
That's a problem. That's a problem. And it has to be solved by. They have to have another company buy them out.
Team Sonic
You-
Racing.
You know what the crazy
There's
thing is?
something with those
As I was, putting up this wall with Nintendo, Sony, and all this stuff.
There's a shitload of Sega.
Sega has more than anything here.
Yeah.
Like if you look at all the Sega titles here, and so many are dead. You got Space Harrier, you got Skies of Arcadia, you got Phantasy Star, you got Dragon Force. Valkyria, thank God that came out. Knights is dead. I haven't seen Knights in God knows how long. Panzer Dragoon had to be taken over by an indie developer. Alex Kidd's being worked on. Virtual Fighter, we don't see that anymore. Golden Axe, Altered Beast, you don't see that. Guardian Heroes, Gunstar Heroes,
Burning Rangers.
The list goes on, and it's a tragedy.
I'm not saying that the Sega team can't make good games anymore. Like Valkyria Chronicles 4 was a masterpiece. It was a masterpiece.
Beautiful
great.
game.
Sakura
It gets
Wars.
no love.
I haven't played Sakura Wars myself, but I've heard
There's a big
great.
following for that. Yeah,
It is
a
a
lot of
great
people
game.
love that game. Yeah.
So Sega still has people in house that can make a good game.
Yeah.
But they don't use their franchises at all.
Nope.
And like I said, they didn't have third parties on the Master System at
No.
all. They had so many titles that they could work with. Same with Konami. Without dude who made Metal Gear.
Konami should be acquired.
Yeah,
someone should
Konami needs to
acquire
be
them.
taken over as soon as
second-
possible.
The second the dude left for the dude left who made Mortal Kombat. No, Metal Gear.
Kojima.
The dude left
Kojima,
who made
right?
Metal Gear.
Kojima.
Yeah, Hideo Kojima. The second he left, Konami died. That was the heart of Konami.
Yeah.
Basically, that's all they had left.
Yeah.
Was his team. And like Contra team, I don't know who was in charge of that, but whoever's in charge of Contra right now is not the heart of Contra.
Well, Contra and Castlevania.
Hardcore was dope.
Those are-
like Hardcore, the game.
Hardcore Rising.
Well, look
Hardcore Rising was amazing. That was Contra.
Well, look at Castlevania.
Castlevania, dude left.
Blood.
Yeah, he made his own studio. That's the heart of Konami.
You know what's messed up though? It's like as much as I love Bloodstained, it comes from.
You want Castlevania.
I want Castlevania.
There's
and,
lore.
And the messed up thing about it is they were coming out with a mobile game that was 2-player co-op and had like all the characters from all the dope games, and then it was canceled. So no one knows what the fuck they're doing over in Konami. So if there's any company that needs to be bought out by either Xbox or Sony or even Nintendo, it's Konami. But Sega's on that fine line because it's like.
Which one is more though?
They still have control over their franchise.
I want Konami bought out first because nobody knows
Oh.
anything what they're doing. They have no fucking idea.
Well, this
Except
is
for Bomberman.
What?
They do have the license for Bomberman.
that Bomberman was
R.
whack.
No, that last Bomberman was not whack. I will disagree with you.
It
there.
wasn't the best Bomberman.
No, it's definitely not
Bomberman
whack. It's
R?
definitely not whack. The new one that came out for
R?
the Switch, and I think it was for PS4 too.
This is why because they
Bomberman R, I
updated
think,
it.
right?
Yeah, someone needs to buy Konami and make a sequel to Metamorphic Force. For real, like,
Yo, Chuck, we're gonna get you a Metamorphic Force shirt.
Chuck,
You
I'm gonna
said
edit-
on the
Yo,
last
dude.
5 podcasts.
You've been trying to
what
like
you-
speak it into existence.
You edit.
Chuck
2
and
years now.
Metamorphic
You're gonna
Force.
edit that out.
No, leave that
Too
on.
much Metamorphic
No,
Force.
we're gonna do a
Bro,
tally. We're gonna
wait
do
a
a tally
Listen,
of
Chuck.
how much.
Metamorphic Force. You've been
Contact.
trying to like every credit, man.
Contact the developers, Chuck, because you are their main dude.
Yes. You're the only person asking for that game. And by the way, it is
I
a
think you
bad
like
game.
saying it.
That's not saying it's a bad game.
I think
It
he
is
likes
actually-
saying. I think he likes saying. the name.
It is a dope game.
I think he just likes saying
No,
the name.
Metamorphic Force is a good game. It's a
It's
good
like
premise, especially for like an Altered Beast type of thing. Like
a
it really would not be
multiplayer
bad.
beat 'em up Alter Beast. That's an awesome premise. But my hat's off to you, man.
Listen, basically,
2
all
years.
these, listen, any company they buy, it probably won't be the companies that we're talking about because, like I said, the heart of those companies isn't there. So buying something without heart is like wasting your money.
And-
if you just want the IPs, you got to get people who are gonna make it. So that's why you got to find indie developers who can do it.
That's the thing because if you think about it, like I think when you bring out an IP as big as like a Streets of Rage or whatever, it's so fragile. It's so easy to fuck up.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's so easy to piss off that fan base. And the messed up thing is that you could like take any one of these. And be like the what was it, the PlayStation Ages or whatever? PlayStation when they brought, was it PlayStation that brought back?
It was the Ages series.
It was the Ages,
Sega Ages.
Sega Ages series on PlayStation. Shit
And
on
you could
Golden
shit on
Axe,
everything.
shit on Game Ground. Like it's so fragile. Those IPs are so fragile.
can't budget.
You have to get somebody who knows that game, what would work in that game, and like do it the right way because that fan base will kill you.
So
So
basically,
what
are
would you
buying-
say? Here's the question: what would you say would be the company to buy them out? Then would it be PlayStation?
No,
So, was Sega? If it was Sega,
Would it be Sony or Microsoft?
well, I wouldn't choose either one for Sega, to be honest. I would say Nintendo.
Yo, what if? All right, so what's in the runnings also on this news? Google and Amazon are also on the lookout for these companies. So what if one of these companies like Google or Amazon bought out something like Capcom
That would be big.
or Konami, and you had to play it and stream it on the service?
I wouldn't want Google because they
pissed.
have a history
Yeah, I'd be
of
pissed too.
But they need something to get them credibility.
Google has
I don't care about them.
Google has a history of forgetting about, like, they'll come out with like a new app and then they'll like support it for like 2 years and then they're like, all right, that's it.
Well, because they have nothing.
That's it.
All right,
Just
well,
to have nothing. But they do that though. They have a history of doing that
Because
with
it's
a
not
lot of stuff.
successful. They need something to be successful.
All right.
I don't know.
Turbo, what would you think? What would you do?
As far as
If Google, Amazon stole
for
one of these
Sega?
companies and shit on them.
All right, listen. Google, Amazon, Sony, Microsoft. Which company would you prefer to have? One of
I
these
would
companies?
rather have I'd rather Sega go into Nintendo. Nintendo would do the best job, but if it had to be Sony or freaking Microsoft, I think Sega should probably go to Xbox, and I think Konami should go to Sony.
Okay.
What about you, Chuck?
Ideally, I'd want Microsoft to buy Konami and Sega.
Okay.
Of course.
But they definitely should be bought. I don't think they can manage themselves anymore.
And John, what do you think?
PlayStation is good. They're all right. They'll be fine. They got their exclusives. They're good.
I say Nintendo with Sega just because it's weird.
It would work.
And then Konami with Sony. And like said in the chat, just give it back to Kojima.
Yeah.
And then he can continue his Castlevanias.
That's interesting.
See, I'm agreeing with John and Chase in the chat. I think if Sega's going to be bought out by anybody, it should be Nintendo.
But the
because
news-
I just don't think Sony Sega doesn't sound right to me, and Microsoft wouldn't know what the fuck to do. So I just think Nintendo.
Xbox makes the
the
most
thing
sense
is-
though.
Yeah, because
Like,
they have nothing.
It doesn't sound right
they
to
have
me
a
either.
history.
But
Like Xbox and Sega was sort of working together at the time. Like
Yeah, I think
Sega went
Microsoft-
down and Xbox came out with their system.
Yeah, did Microsoft build the OS
Yes.
for the Dreamcast or something?
Yeah, there's like
Windows,
there's Xbox
Well, it
and
doesn't-
Sega have a history.
I can agree with you.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound right that Microsoft and Sony are gonna but they're the only ones that are buying. Like they're looking to buy IPs, and Nintendo is not even in the market.
No,
don't care.
Nintendo's
They're not even in the market.
Nintendo's
So,
not trying to do
Nah,
that.
they don't-
So I
they
understand.
It's
rarely
just my
buy-
personal opinion.
I
Yeah,
got it.
Nintendo
I
would
agree
make
with you.
the
If it's
most
between
sense.
I agree.
Sony and
It's
Microsoft,
between Sony and Microsoft is the question.
I would tilt towards Microsoft.
But this
than
is
Sony.
the
thing.
Sony don't need Sega.
You know why though? And I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
The reason why I agree with
Konami was
Microsoft,
Sony though. Konami was Sony.
I'll give you a quick rundown after you.
I agree with you on that, and the only reason why I agree was because they did right by Battletoads.
Okay.
That's the only reason why.
Listen,
That was one of those IPs that like we saw footage. Like you were like, I don't know, man. Like everybody was. Like,
I was nervous.
Everybody was nervous.
Very
It was
nervous.
like, oh shit.
I'll give you a
But
quick-
when it came out, we were like, oh wow, this is an awesome game.
I'll give you a quick rundown.
But go ahead.
The reason why, all right, Microsoft needs Sega more than Sega needs anyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of
So
course.
the reason why I don't think it would work is because Sega was already Microsoft's when they came out with the Xbox.
Right.
And they failed miserably. They had all the franchises. They came out with Panzer. I mean, Panzer was dope. Panzer Dragon Auto
Fans
was
was
dope.
dope.
Jack Ryan Radio Future, so. But like they
That was
already
good,
had
But
Sega.
it wasn't as good as the
But I'm
first.
saying they already treated Microsoft as a Sega system, and it didn't work out for them.
They did. They did.
And they didn't bring out
They kinda
anything-
did.
No,
Like-
it was just a Panzer. It's just Panzer.
Yeah, they didn't bring out anything old school. They didn't use any of the franchises. So if that happens again, what's the purpose, right?
Right.
Well, you
So-
hope someone else is in charge now.
But they need the budget. The budget that Microsoft can offer, they need the budget. So indie studios can have the power to do what they need to do. But
Right.
you need to incorporate indies into that
Yes.
and just give them the money to make the games that they wish that they can make.
Sony
And
does
the
a better
power.
job with the indies, though.
But Sony, listen,
they
Sony
do
with
They do a
Konami,
better job with the indies. They give
I would
them
say-
more freedom.
I would say Sony with Konami because they have history with stuff like that. Like they obviously they would make it newer. They would make it more 3D. They would make it more story bound. They would make like they're good with franchises.
You know
But
what I
they
think?
have-
You know what I think of too? It makes me nervous as fuck. Is whoever if one day this happens, right? Let's say someone I don't know who. Let's say somebody takes over Sega. Let's someone buys Sega, and they decide to do the Shining Force 3. I'm nervous.
That would be it for the phone.
I will throw a bottle at you.
It would be mobile.
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
If Shining Force 3
Shining
became
Force
noble,
3 comes out, it will be mobile. I
listen.
agree.
If Shining Force
You said
3, listen to me. If Shining Force 3 became mobile,
so
I'm
angry.
throwing a bottle at Jay's head because he said it first.
And I'm putting up a fucking trash can lid to block
yeah.
that.
No,
Yes.
no. You will not see it. I'm throwing a bottle at your head.
I will
because-
catch it.
Mentally.
And Max
he's throwing
Payne
the
slow
ball.
No,
motion.
there's no mentally, Al. There is no mentally.
And Max
I'm
Payne-
finishing my bottle and I'm throwing it at his head.
And Max Payne slow motion, I will catch that shit and throw it
Imagination.
back at you.
Your imagination is very wild.
And it brings me back to my point. These IPs are so fragile. You fuck with them, you ruin them for the next couple of years. Like
But
they're
that's why
done.
I say Microsoft, because if you give it, listen, this is to finish this off.
Yeah.
If you give people the power to use these franchises with no money, then you have the risk of having it be shit.
Yeah, it's-
Because
it's-
they can have a dream, but if you don't have the money to make that,
Yeah, it's
Then
true.
you
That's
just
very,
aren't
very
it
there
can
true.
end up being Sega ages all over again.
Which I
Yeah.
respect. Why am I forgetting his name? Ben. I call him Ben Awesome from Forever.
Ben Ansum.
Ben Ansum from Forever Entertainment. When I brought up Panzer Dragoon Saga, because he's doing
It was above their pay
because
grade.
he
Like, they
said
can't do it.
they're doing Panzer Sui and they did a great job on the first one. He's like, you know what? That's the task might be a little too big for them,
Yeah.
and at least they know
Yeah.
because they're not going to be like, yeah, we'll take it on and fuck up the whole game.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't like companies. Yeah, we'll
right.
take it on and just ruin it. No, fuck that shit,
'Cause
man.
you don't want to remake.
You got a fan base that will kill you.
You don't want to. Actually, I should say-
Yeah, they will come after you.
I should say we don't want to remaster. We want to remake.
Remake.
If you're gonna
Panzer
do
Saga.
something like that.
Remake. I don't want a remaster of Shining Force 3 all scenarios. I want a fucking remake. That's like arguably the best role playing game ever.
You don't want
made.
to polish up those polygons, those rendered. You don't want to polish that.
I want to fix them.
If you got a remaster, would you be mad though?
It's gotta look nice.
Wow.
If you got a remaster, would you be pissed?
Depends on how it looks.
hell
'Cause
no,
there's
you
some,
wouldn't.
there's,
I'm just
there's some,
saying,
there's
I
some
was-
remasters that look
Right.
good. It's
Would you just want it to look like the new Fire Emblem?
yes.
So you would be happy with that?
I would do a backflip
Story
right
of
off.
characters.
Yeah, I think
John, I would do a
similar to
backflip
Fire
live
Emblem.
off this table if they did it Fire Emblem style.
What's messed up? What's messed up?
I wouldn't land it, but I
Which
would
would be
do
great
it.
video. Yes.
What's messed up is they're talking about a remake of the Fire Emblems before a Shining Force.
But the thing is, I'm not angry about that because
that's crazy.
of how old Shining Force 3 is and the Fire Emblem. Those Fire Emblems are my second favorite game all time.
That's money in the bank.
But if those are done, that gives me more hope for the Shining Force 3. I don't think the Shining Force 3 remake will be done for another 5 years.
Chase Red wants a remake. I mean, he wants a remaster. He said, "Fuck you."
Really? Chase, you don't want a remake?
It's
No,
all good.
you're not down with a remake. Hey,
Wants
listen,
a remaster. He likes
listen.
the old style.
I'm about the remaster if it looks good because them graphics on the Saturn are ugly as shit.
He loves it. He
yeah,
loves
But the
graphics.
game is so
Remaster of
epic.
it.
The game is so epic that it needs to be shown
Something.
in a nice.
32-bit like remaster.
Yeah.
Now
Listen.
it's like it's gonna be rough.
would you be
need
mad,
that to
though?
be like a
There's money to be
remake.
made.
Yeah,
though.
remake.
There's money to
It's
be
like-
made with that franchise. You know this, and they know this. That's,
But
And
they
that's
can
crazy.
they can whip out a fucking remaster like real quick.
Dude,
though.
I don't
So
want to
would you
see
be
a
mad though? Would you be mad?
A
That's
remaster?
that's the question.
Dude, anything's better than what I have here.
Exactly. So you'd be happy.
I'll take what I can get. But I do
Thank
not.
you.
that's it.
I do not
But,
want to
yeah.
see a Shining Force 4 till this fucking thing is remade or remastered.
Oh, you know they'll drop the
No,
ball.
I agree with you on
You
that.
know they'll drop the ball in
That's
the 4.
good. That's good.
They will.
know
I
They
think
will
you'll
fuck
get
it up.
like a compilation, like before you'll get a remake or a remaster.
1, 2, and
You-
3.
You might get a
Yeah.
remaster compilation
Yeah.
of the first 3 games.
1, 2, 1, 2, and 3.
Remaster the first.
No,
two.
the 1, 2, and 3 of Part 3 because they never came
No,
out
no,
with 2
no,
and
no,
3.
no, no, no. Part 1 and 2 should be separate from Part 3.
That's what I'm saying.
Because Part 3 is 3 games.
No, I'm saying scenario.
Yeah, yeah,
Scenario
yeah.
1, 2, and 3.
Oh, okay. I thought you said meant
As
okay.
one game.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what they need to
Yes.
do because it didn't
Yeah.
come out in America.
Yeah.
It didn't come out. How hard is this?
Yeah.
1/3 of it came out.
And Earthbound.
1/3.